Welcome, everybody. I see we've got one attendee here from HM Collision. Welcome. Do you mind just letting me know if you can hear me just to make sure my audio is working? Okay, perfect. Thank you. I see. Just keep that chat open. I'm expecting there's a few more people registered. I guess we'll see if they show up. I might just give them a couple more minutes if that's okay to get logged in here. In the meantime, I am going to go ahead and work at getting my screen shares bigger. Everyone can see that. Welcome, Ryan. Just giving a little bit of time in case there's anyone else. I know there's a handful of people, other people registered, but I think we're going to get kicked off here shortly if they don't sign on here quick soon. We'll just give them a minute or two. In the meantime, if you guys want to just put in the chat where you're calling in from. I am based out of Oklahoma, so in the sunny South Midwest, Wisconsin. Perfect. I see someone else is just rolling in. So I imagine winter is on the way for Ryan. No, well, that's probably a little early for winter there in your area. All right, Ohio, excellent. Very good. I drive through Ohio quite a few times. Wisconsin, I feel like I don't know that state very well at all. Don't know if I've ever driven through there. All right. You know what, guys? I think we're going to get rolling. I am planning, as you know, we're planning to kind of dive into the local SEO to how you can help leverage your shop's online presence to obviously all of you are looking to grow. You're looking to use this as an avenue, get more customers in your shop. I am just going to go ahead and click through these slides. They're nothing fancy, but they'll kind of help maybe give us a little bit of direction. So as I mentioned, I'm just going to go ahead and mute you, Rusty, if you don't mind. There we go. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to post it in the chat or go ahead and unmute yourself. It's a smaller group here today than what we have sometimes on these webinars. So I'd like to keep it interactive as I can. If you have any questions, just stop me along the way. And I want to just give you as much value as I can. So obviously, you're looking at these options as a way to grow your business. Here's a bit of a plan that I have for our next half hour, 45 minutes, however long it takes us to get through this, is I'm just going to give you a brief introduction on who I am and talk a little bit about why local online marketing, local SEO is a great option to leverage for your shop. And then diving into a lot of what are tactics that you can do. And then just a little bit around how to maybe focus that at the end. Let's move on here. So just a little bit about me, in case you don't know, I'm Daniel. I grew up in the collision repair auto body industry. The picture here on the screen is where I spent many, many years in the auto body shop. I was mostly in management. We were a small shop, so I got to do a lot of things like sweeping the floor, parts ordering, receiving, dealing with customers, and dealing with insurance companies. So I wore a lot of those different hats, had a great time. And in 2021, I decided to move on from the family business. And got into marketing and sales. And in 2023, I decided to go full time on the collision repair shop marketing to bring these kinds of tools to independent shops to help you dominate online. So that's just a little bit about me. Let's go on and talk a little bit about online marketing. So I feel like number one goal of all online marketing is to grow your shop's revenue. And if your online marketing is not doing that, it's not doing its job. Your online marketing should be working just as hard as you are. Actually, it should probably be working a little harder. It could work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So let's remember, goal number one is to grow, is to use online marketing to grow your shop. Here's the next one that I have. And now I guess I'm going to put my neck out there just a little bit. I don't know what you have at your shop, if you are DRP shop or a non-DRP shop, but what I want to tell you is don't be this guy and get yourself trapped in just doing DRP work. Um, I feel like DRPs potentially have their place, and I'm not here to trash talk DRP. But I think you also want to be positioning yourself and your shop that you're not at the mercy of these large insurance corporations because they really don't care about your shop. So you need to take control of your shop's future. I think online marketing is a great way to do that to help you dominate in your local area outside of DRP. That's point number two, not reliant on DRP or not too reliant on DRP. Point number three is get in front of the right people at the right time. This is so key. Back years ago, I have a story of somebody I met over at Collision, the Carolinas Collision Association. I met one of the members there at a meeting. It was a couple months ago now. And Mr. Avery was telling me a little story. He grew up in the industry and he was, I think, partner with his dad. Their shop name was A&C Auto Body. And back in the day, when you opened up the yellow pages to the auto body section, do you want to guess which shop came first? It was A&C Auto Body. And that really served them well. They got a lot of phone calls from being that first shop in the yellow pages. Now, I am almost young enough that I have barely used yellow pages in my life. I do know what they are, and I think I have used them already. But yellow pages are basically a thing of the past, and Google has taken that place in the majority of our searches now. When we're looking for a business or some type of service, local service, we typically jump on Google. And as you know, the collision industry is a needs-based industry. So we want to be there online all the time so we can get in front of those right people that are searching. When they're searching search phrases like collision repair shop near me, collision repair near me, that is so key to being able to get in front of them. So point number three, get in front of the right people at the right time is why we need to utilize online marketing. Let's go on to my fourth and I believe final point on this one is track and report like no other marketing to help increase the ROI. So as you know, something like a billboard or something like maybe a sign at the local softball field, it is really difficult to track the ROI of what is that type of marketing getting for you. It's an excellent way to get brand recognition, brand marketing, but it's really hard to track it. That is one thing with online marketing that I especially like is that you can track things like impressions, click-through rate, website tracking, how many people are finding your website. You can have forms on your website that are being tracked if somebody fills them out. You can be tracking the phone calls that are coming from your website, from your Google Business profile. And just to give you a quick illustration on like an ROI, so let's say your average severity on your typical repair order is $5,000, just for easy figuring. And let's say your average margin is 40% for easy figuring again. I hope it's that or more. Your average profit then is $2,000 per RO. So if you're spending $2,500 per month on marketing and you bring in an extra, let's say 2 to 5 cars, you are turning a really good a return on your investment ROI from your market, your online marketing. So you need to make sure you have the right tracking in place. Anyway, that is the point number 4 on why online marketing is a good option, because you can track and report it. All right, just to recap this, point number 1 is grow your shop's revenue. Number 2, not reliant on DRPs or not too reliant on DRPs, depending on your situation. Number 3, get in front of the right people at the right time. And number 4, track and report to increase your ROI. Now, let's dive into kind of the weeds here on this one. This is where we get really tactical. Here's a bit of my plan. We're going to kind of start out with simple and pro and just progressively move up to more technical things. So here's the simple stuff. And this, you really don't need to hire anybody to do some of these simple tasks. It's really, really straightforward. And I hope I'll keep it simple enough that you can understand. First of all, though, I would like to explain something here on this screen. Here's a report from WhiteSpark, Google Map ranking factors. Now, Google doesn't give us this information. This is WhiteSpark having done a lot of research and talking to many different people in the industry, in the marketing, online marketing industry. This is a report that they came up with in 2023 of what affects how Google ranks you on the local searches. So I got an arrow pointing here at the local pack finder because I wanted to talk about that one. This one has to do with your Google business profile. Some people, it used to be called the GMB, Google My Business. Now they've called the GBP, the Google Business Profile. It's where your shop is found on Google when people are searching for you on the Google Maps, on the local pack search. Here's the signals. So 32% of the signals for this ranking are coming from the Google Business Profile. 19% are coming from on page, which is from your website. 16 is coming from your Google Business Profile. Again, those review signals that you're generating there. The purple is 11%. Those are link signals that would be coming from your website. 8% is behavioral from your website. Again, 7 would be from your website. 6 would be from your website. 8 could be the kind of maroon color could be that 8% could be a little bit from your Google Business Profile. Basically, it's how people are interacting with your shop's online presence. How are they interacting with your website? How are they interacting with your Google Business Profile? So as you can see here, there's 56% of these signals are coming from your Google Business Profile. So that is one of the pillars, one of the key pillars to successfully marketing your shop online is utilizing your Google Business Profile. And that's some tools that I want to give you here coming up to help you do that. This part has basically how to set up, and I don't go through it all, but how to set up your Google Business Profile properly. Make sure you have your correct business name in there. Make sure, here's a good part that you can utilize is, actually, let me just back up a little bit. On the business category, make sure you pick auto body shop. Don't click the auto repair because that is your mechanic shop. You want to be ranking when people are searching in the category of collision repair and auto body shop. You don't want people calling you to get their brakes changed or whatever. And then the next part of this is filling out your description. I would say take your time and write a really nice, very readable, but also load it up with as many keyword phrases that you can. And Maybe you are savvy enough that you've done keyword research for your local area. What are people searching? That is great information that you can be utilizing there. But if you haven't, I would say rule of thumb, if you're using phrases like auto body shop, collision repair shop, collision shop, those kind of encapsulate a lot of those other long, we use the term long tail phrases that people are searching outside of that. Make sure you get your, oh, I went, what did I do? There we are. Make sure you get your phone number in there correctly, your website. And another cool thing is if you're on social media, be sure to add all those links in there so people can go directly from the Google business over to your social pages as well. That's a little bit on the setup. Let's go on to the next one. This one here is a pretty cool feature that excellent auto body shop near me. Perfect. So I would say H&M Collision, which I think might be Amber or Ron. Great insight. Be sure to use, thank you, Amber. Excellent. Make sure you have that like auto body shop, not necessarily the near me part, because Google is using their proximity algorithm to determine whether or not it's near them, which is another thing. If you really get deep into this, you can try to kind of beat that proximity algorithm a little bit. Great information to be using there when you're writing out that description. Now, let's go on to this tip number 2. You probably have had a few strangers come onto your Google business profile and ask you some strange question like, how much does it cost to paint a 1983 front bumper? I don't know, did 83s even have front bumpers? They probably did. They might not have bumper covers. My goodness. I am showing my ignorance here on my 83s. That was before I was born. Anyways, what you can actually do though is go in and ask your own questions and write your own answers. You can do that from the admin side, or if you want, you can go in through your personal Gmail account and write a question and go into the admin side and answer it. Great way to be sending signals to Google. So something like this, like, of course, back to these keyword phrases. We're talking here about local SEO. Be sure you're using the keyword phrases. Something like this. Do I need to take my wrecked car to the collision repair shop my insurance recommends? That's a question you could ask. You can go back in and then answer it however you like. But what I would definitely recommend you do is be sure to include any keyword phrases that you're trying to rank for around that. I hope that's making sense. This one is so key. I hope you really get this one. And I would highly recommend you go in and do this. You don't want to necessarily, okay, so let me back up just a little bit. Google is also watching about how many signals, if there's a huge influx in reviews, let's say all of a sudden your shop gets 100 reviews on your Google business profile. I'm just going to mute you, Mitch. Welcome, Mitch. We're just right in the super tactical part here of how you can utilize your online presence and different things you can be doing, especially right now, we're talking about the Google business profile. So if you have any questions, anybody, feel free, shoot them in the chat. I have been muting everybody so far, but I think you can unmute yourself if you like, if you have something to say. Anyways, back to it. Where was I again? Oh, definitely be utilizing this Q&A section. It is really, really great in sending signals to Google. Oh, I know where I was. I was saying, don't necessarily go in and do 15 Q&As tomorrow. Stage it out. Maybe do 1 tomorrow, do 2 the next day. Just keep a nice steady amount coming in. Don't just do a great big influx, because Google is also, they are watching that. And I was going to give that illustration of Google reviews. If you would all of a sudden get 100 Google reviews tomorrow, your GBP would most likely get flagged, because highly likely you were buying reviews from some company that makes fake reviews, and they are out there. Please don't go buy fake reviews for your shop. It is such a bad idea from a number of different levels. Anyways, let me carry on here. Definitely use your Q&A section. Just get in it, maybe set a reminder in your calendar every morning to go in and write a Q&A. Such a great way to boost your Google business profile. Here is the next one that is so cool as well. This is called like the post update section. You can go in here and you can post updates basically just like you're writing a Facebook page, or sorry, a Facebook post. You can go in here and write a post. You can, I definitely recommend have a picture. Pictures are another great way to send signals to Google. Add a picture, hopefully something of your facility, of your staff, of your team, whatever, of your office, and then write something about it. And you're probably going to guess this. Definitely include keywords in what you write about it. Maybe it's a before and after. You can just write up a nice little paragraph about it, and it just fires off those signals to Google. When Google crawls your Google business profile, they're like, oh, look at all this activity here. What's going on? They start seeing a pattern in your keyword phrases. I hope this is making sense. If this is making sense where I'm going with this on the Google business profile, do you mind just throwing something in the chat? You can throw a 1 or something in there, because I feel like this probably is some of the biggest takeaways that I can give to you to really make a change in your shop's online rankings. And something like this does not happen overnight, because Google crawls the internet about every 45 days. It used to be about every 30 days. Now it's gotten that big that it takes about, they don't even crawl the whole internet anymore. Excellent. Thanks, Rusty. Appreciate that feedback. So it takes time. You can't expect, if you go in and do this for 2 weeks, that you're going to just, like, the phone's going to be ringing off the hook. That's not the way it's going to work. You're going to have to go in and consistently do this for, I typically tell my clients, 6 months. Really you start seeing a snowball effect when you keep this kind of activity up. I know that's a long time because you guys are running shop. All right, let's move on from those two. I feel like those two are really, really key to this. And here's another one that's really a great way as well. This is a little bit harder because it involves other people. Like I said, don't go and buy Google reviews. If you jump on your computer and Google, like, let's just say you Google, how can I buy Google reviews? You're going to find companies that will sell you Google reviews. They'll sell you like maybe 100 or $300 or something like that. Please, 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 please don't do that. I'm sure you wouldn't do that. It's just it will highly likely backfire on you. And yeah, anyways, I'm not even going to go there. Like I said, this one is a little more tricky to actually pull off, because it means somebody, your CSR, your front end staff, is going to have to maybe have that little bit awkward conversation with somebody like, hey, I know you're super happy with the repair. Would you be willing to go onto our Google business profile and write us a 5-star review, because it will help our business? And that's basically how I would pitch it to them, is, are they willing to help their independent local collision repair center, whatever? That's how I would pitch it to them, is, are they willing to help you? Because it really is helping you when they go on and do that. And there are things you can do. I see these advertised. I obviously don't personally have any, but it's a cool little, basically like a tag that you can put on your desk. I wish I had a picture of it here. I don't. And you can, it's the technology where you can hold your phone up to it, and boom, it brings up your Google business profile where they can very easily write you a review. So you want to try to make it as easy as you can to kind of take the resistance away. Maybe you send your customers text messages. Maybe you can send them a text with the link in it to go right to your Google business profile and write you that. All right. So I see that those were my 4 tips for the Google business profile. Those 4 are gold. If you can maximize them, they are just excellent ways. Now I've got a couple here on Facebook. I feel like Facebook is a great branding tool to actually drive customers to your door is a little more challenging from Facebook. What I'm what I'm saying here is just optimize your account as much as you can. Fill out all the information. Don't have it partly filled out. Make it look as professional as you can. Um, the one here that I'm really want to emphasize is your service area. So I don't know. You got I got somebody here from Wisconsin, somebody from Ohio. I don't know what excuse me. I don't know what town you are in or what city you're in. Let's say you're more in a rural setting where you have maybe a town of 10,000 people that you service. But then you also have that little town over here, 3,000 people. You have that little town over here, 5,000 people. Make sure you put in your service area there in Facebook of those different service areas. Make sure that Facebook is aware of that. That can help potentially send a little bit of signal to Google and to Facebook. It's minor, but it's just a little bit. I think it's worth it. I think make that small change there. Another thing is definitely make sure your website and all your social links are in there as well. And here's just a simple thing is just go ahead and post. I know here again, you guys are busy running shops and it's easy to forget. But if you can consistently get into that rhythm of posting on Facebook, and maybe you can tie it together with, that post update feature on your Google Business Profile, maybe tie that together, do it at the same time, or just, yeah, you can use the same picture, you can use the same text, the same content can go on both, boom, and there you have your post. Here I have a picture of the SCRS's YouTube channel. They've got some great little videos that you can utilize for your Facebook. It helps to educate the consumer. All right, let's move on. And I think I have one or two sections here on Yelp. Personally, Ryan, that's a great question. I feel like 3 minimum is kind of a great way to go for posting. Obviously, the more you can post, the more you can potentially show up in those potential customers' feeds. You know how full our Facebook feeds are nowadays. So the more times you post, the more options there are more opportunities to get in front of them. I like to say a minimum of 3 times a week. That's just kind of a minimum. All right, sorry. Thank you, Ryan, for that question, though. Back to Yelp. I am not a huge fan of Yelp. I have never really used Yelp, but I would say another good way to get your shop's information out online is to make sure you have a good Yelp listing. So go claim it. If you haven't claimed the business, it's free. You don't have to pay anything for that. Upload some pictures. Maybe ask a few people to leave reviews there. So you have, I'd say, like 5 to 10 reviews sitting there, 5-star reviews. Hopefully the people take some time to write some nice things about your shop. And probably the only reason I encourage you to do that is look at this random screenshot I took from, it looks like I was searching in Houston for a collision repair shop near me. And above all the local shops, you have this Yelp link. Now, a lot of the clicks do go to right here to the map section, just to be honest with you. But in the organic search itself, outside of the map search, we have this Yelp page. That's the reason I recommend that you spend a little bit of time cleaning up your Yelp profile. It's free. So it doesn't cost you anything. Just go in there, get some pictures, write about yourself, write about your shop, get a few people to leave reviews. And then I don't know that I would spend a lot more time on it, but I think it's good to have that done. Excellent. Great feedback, Amber. Appreciate that insight. Don't make it all promotional on your Facebook feed. Do things like educational. How can you connect it with your local area? What's going on in the community? Excellent things. Also, another great thing you can be doing is highlighting team members. People love that when you have a picture of, let's say it's your painter. You got a picture of your painter. Maybe he's painting. Maybe he's standing in front of the paint booth. Maybe he's whatever. You get the idea. Take a picture of your painter. Tell people about how cool your painter is and how professional and what a good job he does. It makes them feel good. And People love it. I would say, Ryan, as far as sharing local events, sorry, I would 100%, and especially if your shop is involved. Let's say you're sponsoring something at the local softball or at a racetrack or whatever it might be, then definitely be promoting that on your social feed when you're a sponsor. Absolutely. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the questions and the feedback. That's awesome. It doesn't feel like I'm just talking to myself that way. All right. Oh, shoot. There, I scrolled too fast. Okay. I was trying to go to the next page. Let me see if I can do this better. Okay. And look at that. It looks like you're right, Ryan. Great way to brand your shop is get involved in the community. You might not see a result tomorrow, but you'll see results after a while building up that community, that support for the community. So I see I got ahead of myself when I was talking about Yelp. I basically told you what I wanted to tell you. Just go ahead and fill out your profile, make it look nice, get some pictures there. It looks like I just clicked into something. No, that's not Houston, that's DFW, that's Dallas Fort Worth. Anyways, that was my tip there was go ahead, claim it, use it. All right, I have, it looks like one more tip here on the really tactical section. And here again, this is getting your information out there. If you are a CC1 user and have your CarWise, you're paying for your CarWise, definitely utilize it. You might have the question might come up, should I be getting CarWise reviews or should I be getting Google Business Profile reviews? I'll tell you how it looks from an online marketing agency's viewpoint. I would 100% get a Google review over a CarWise, not because CarWise bad, but people typically aren't on CarWise searching for collision repair shops. You will have some people that do. The majority of people are jumping on Google and they're searching for collision repair shops. They're searching for auto body shops. And that's where your reviews will have the most influence. So that was a little rant I went on there. I was talking about Google there. Okay, back to CarWise. Back to CarWise. Why is CarWise? There's some value here. The same thing that I wanted to show you about Yelp. It looks like I'm still in, you know what? This screenshot looks like I'm maybe in Indianapolis or somewhere now. And I searched for collision repair shop near me. And as you can see, number 3, so we've got Yelp, we have Caliber. Of course we have Caliber. Those are the people we want to get ahead of. And then here's CarWise. So if you're using CarWise, make sure your profile is filled out nicely and go ahead and collect some reviews there. From my perspective, Google reviews are much better bang for your buck. But that's aside from that. All right, let's get into a little more technical, something that you may need to either maybe you're really savvy and you like website development, you like building websites, or maybe you're going to need to hire someone to do that. Pardon me. I want to show you the other side of this report that I showed you before. And this side, the right-hand side of this report, is focusing on the local organic ranking factors. So this isn't in the map, local map search. This is in the actual, just like the Google search result. I should really have a screenshot of that there to show you, but I don't. This is showing how important your website is. So I'm kind of switching gears away from the Google business profile to on your actual shop's website. It is important to have a website. It's important to have a nice website, but it needs to be more than nice. It needs to be built for search engine optimization. So we've got here on this White Spark report, we have 36% on-page signals. That is coming from your website, 26% coming from link signals. That is there again, website, 9% behavioral. That would be majority of your website, 9% your Google business profile, 7% is from your personalization, 7% from citation signals, 6% from review signals. So you have a lot of signals that are coming from your website as well. Now, 62%, I should have double checked my math. To me, that looks like it's higher than 62% coming from your website. Just looking at that right now. I better go back and double check my math or go back to school, one or the other. Anyway, what I'm trying to show you there with that report is how important your website is as well. And not just, yeah, we want it beautiful, we want it nice and all these cool things, but ultimately we want people to find it. So that's the search engine optimization portion. It needs to be dialed in 100% to that. And then it needs to be easy to use. Can they call you right from your website? This kind of thing. All right, let's go on to a few tips here. All right, here's something pretty cool. I am just going to let this screen up for a little bit. If you've got your smartphone on you and you're not using it right now to be on the call, which I see a couple of you are called in from iPhone, I would say scan that QR code. That's going to take you to a free tool. It's not my tool. It is a free tool that I believe Google hosts. I can't say that for sure. What that tool is going to do is, so if you scan that QR code, then you can punch in your website. So maybe it's www.hmcollision.com. You punch that in there, you can then run a report on how your website is performing. This is really, really key to ranking in the local search engines, in the local SEO. If your website is performing really, really poorly, then Google's going to push it down in the ranking. And as you can see here, I don't even remember what core shop I put in here. And I see I'm on the desktop. So there's two different things here. You can toggle between mobile and desktop. That is pretty key as well. You want to check both of those because a lot of people are searching from their mobile nowadays. So that one really is quite key. But anyways, I see this website here is performing at 27 out of 100. You really want to see that number at least up in the 90s or preferably in the 100. And there's a number of different things that could be affecting it. It's a large portion of it is your load speed that affects your performance. And like I said, there could be a number of things that are affecting that. It could be things like, where's your website hosted? If it's hosted with a super slow service provider server is just super slow and sluggish, and your website takes a long time to load because the server is slow that it's being hosted from, that could be a big problem. Another problem is maybe you've got like really high definition video that is loading up on the, maybe it's right at the top of your website and it needs to load it up first, and it sits there and thinks because it's really struggling to get that loaded up. That's another thing that could affect your performance. There's just a lot of technical reasons that could be affecting that. And I'm not going to dive into all of those because that would take us way too long. All right, let's go into another one. Another tactic that we utilize here at Body Shop Marketing, and I highly suggest that you, if you're maybe having a new website built or you're considering it, or maybe something you want to ramp up your website and add something, is make sure you get some main service pages, and you want to have at least 500 words of content on there. Obviously, that's really structured around the keyword phrases you're trying to rank for, to tell Google exactly what your shop does. Maybe it's collision repair. Maybe you specialize in PDR. Then you need to have a PDR page. Maybe you really are big on glass. You do your own windshields and back glasses and whatever. Then you should have a glass repair replacement page. Maybe you love rust repair. I'm guessing not. I just have to throw that one in there though. You better have a page on rust repair if you like that. All right, that was tip number 2. That one you're probably not going to be able to do on your own tonight unless you're really into building websites. And look at that. I have 2 tip number 2. Cool. Well, this was supposed to be tip number 3. This is here again another tactic that we utilize here at Body Shop Marketing. Remember, that was back on Facebook. I was saying about telling Facebook that you service other areas than just where your shop is located. So This example website that I pulled up here is Manual Collision Center, and their shop is located in Ada. It's a massive facility, and they service communities out around Ada. So we built them service area pages that help them to start getting ranked over in Holdenville, Oklahoma, Durant. I can't remember all the different towns. And then what we did is we went in, and you can't just have copy and paste content in here because Google ran an algorithm change quite a while ago, and they really went hard on duplicate content. If your website had duplicate content on it, it just got hammered and buried in the search result. So you can't just copy and paste content and change the city name in it. That would be cool if we could. So what we do is we go research a town, and we write special content for that town, and we tell them all about Manual Collision and how cool of a job they do and how they service Holdenville, Oklahoma. We want to make sure it's clear that they don't have a facility in Holdenville, but they service that area. So then if you're searching things like collision repair in Holdenville, boom, Manual Collision starts ranking. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that is a really, here again, fairly technical, but it's a great way to tell Google, send those signals to Google and help you rank in your local search engine. All right, let's go on to the next slide here. Hey, look what I did. So this is tip number 4. It looks like it says it's tip number 3, but that's wrong. I must have forgot how to count. The whole point of, I shouldn't say that. You have a website so people can find you. And you also want to be building domain authority. And there's all kinds of ways to be doing that. By far and away, historically, the best way to do that is through content, blog posts, press releases, all coming from your website. And if you want, you're welcome to go over to, oh, I don't have the domain, or sorry, the website here that I ran this on. Whatever the case, if you jump on Google, there's free tools out there to check your website's domain authority. So if you jump on Google and say something like free domain authority tool, I'm sure you're going to find something that'll work. Punch in your website domain and see here, I put in caliber.com and I checked their authority out because I'm kind of curious about Caliber. And their website domain authority is 47. Their linking root domains is 3,500. Their ranking keyword is 17,000. That is phenomenal. But for a national brand, they should be ranking high for lots of keywords. Their spam score is 4%, so that's good. The lower, the better. If that was 100%, that would mean that this website was really, really poor on Google. So good for them, not good for us independent shop. Oh man, sorry about that. I'm trying, oh my goodness. Okay, let me just click on that. There we go. Now we're at tip number 5, I believe. And reporting and tracking. This is something that you can actually do. You might need a little bit of help from your web developer. Is set up your Google Analytics, set up your Google Search Console. Those are free tools from Google that you can utilize. Actually, I don't know that you'll need help. You can just go in there, go into your Google Search Console, go into your Google Analytics, set up your account, and plug your website in with that. And then you can start getting information on how many people are clicking there, how many people are searching and finding you, that kind of information. Definitely a great way to start dialing that in. All right, let's go to some key takeaways. I see this is taking a little longer than what I was anticipating. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like I'm going a little slow today. Okay, so here's some key takeaways. Back to what we were talking about, why would you want to use online marketing? It's to grow your shop's revenue. It's to not be reliant or too reliant on DRPs. It's to get in front of the right people at the right time. It's to track and report so you can increase the ROI. That is really the 4 fundamental reasons that I think of on why you want to utilize your local online marketing. So I'm going to show you something here of what can be done when you fire enough right signals to Google. This is a client of ours, and this first report was before they were a client of ours. You can see that they're ranking 11.2 for the search phrase auto body shop in a 3-mile radius around their shop. They've got 7 greens, which means it's 1 to 3, 20 oranges, 22 reds, which means, sorry, orange is 4 to 10, and red is 11 and down, so just buried. And as of August 1st, this report was ran over here on the right-hand side of the page. They are at 2.6 average, 37 greens, which is 1 to 3. So they're in the map pack. That's where you want to be. Preferably more 1s and 3s, but you want to be in that map pack at the least, at the bare minimum. And mid ranking is 11, and we have 1 red. So pretty outstanding. That is what can be done when you're firing the right signals to Google. I'll just warn you, can you do that on your own? Probably not. That'll probably take some professional help to do that. And that takes me to my next slide. Maybe you're like, oh, shoot, I need some help. You have overwhelmed me. You've given me some pretty cool things. I'm going to just throw out a couple things. I'm not going to hard sell you on any offers because I don't have any offers. Here's one little tool that could maybe help get you off the rocks. It is located at the bottom of our homepage on our website. If you scan that QR code, that'll take you right over there. You can download that if you like. It's probably not going to help you out a ton, but it might help to at least get you thinking. The other thing that I'd like to offer to you, and I know a couple of you have already booked these calls with me, so I'm looking forward to chatting with a couple of you over the next couple days, is a free strategy session, we call them, basically where I do some research from my side of how are you ranking against your competitors, some keyword research, analyzing what's going on with your website, that kind of information. So I would highly recommend you to take advantage of this if you like. Scan that QR code. That'll take you right over to our sign up for that. You have to fill out a little bit of information about your shop. So it helps me to know a little bit what's going on with your shop. And then we can get together and review what you've got going on. And then I won't let you off that call until you sign an agreement to work with Body Shop Marketing. Just kidding. That's not true. So anyway, definitely, if you want to do that, you're welcome to it. I'm just offering my time free of charge there for you. Do any of you have any questions before we jump off this call? I see I talked way longer than what I was anticipating. I thought this was going to take me about 27 minutes to do, and I'm at like 49 minutes in. Any questions for me on what we talked about? So we're at the whole way at the end. This is my last slide. I can't go any further. If you don't have any questions, I am going to just jump off this call because I have many other things to do today. Thank you, Rusty. Appreciate that. I hope there's just something, a little bit of something that you can take away from this and utilize at your shop, because I realize that our business is not the fit for every auto body shop out there. I know some of you guys, maybe you have a small shop, you can't afford to hire someone like us. So I hope that this has given you some tools, and please feel free to reach out to me. I don't charge for my opinions. I got lots of opinions and I don't even charge for them. So I guess it maybe tells you a little bit how much they're worth, but sweet, Ryan. That's a great question. Ryan, can you tell me what your shop's name is? Let's go find out if your shop has a Google Business Profile, if you don't mind. Superior Touch Collision. Superior, oh my goodness, I can't even spell today. Superior Touch Collision. And you are over there in Monroe, Wisconsin, I'll bet. So to me, this is looking good. Like you must have, and let's just get rid of ChatGPT. That's you, buddy. So you have a Google Business Profile. This is your Google Business Profile. If you have never seen it from the consumer, like, so this is like me, like a potential customer landing here on your Google Business Profile. When you're on your admin side, it looks different. But here I am. So boom, you've got some pictures. You have a nice looking facility, Ryan. You've made some cool changes. I like that rock along the bottom much, much better. You've got 31 Google reviews, 5-star, all of those 5-star. That is awesome. So Ryan, here you are. You've got a Google business profile. Use it, man. Get more reviews. Right down here, you filled out your description section. When you have collision damage to your auto, we can handle it all. There's no request too small or too big. Our highly trained and capable staff, outstanding auto body repairs. We offer free loaner vehicles. You know what? Really well done, Ryan. I would maybe, I'm just trying to think through here. Are there any keywords that we should be adding there? You didn't ask for an audit on your Google business profile, did you? I'm sorry, man. I'm just going to town on this thing. I would say that's good though. That's a lot better than a lot of shops have, but you could maybe dial that in just a little bit. So Ryan, right down here is what I'm talking about when I say question and answers. So I could be that random stranger that comes on here and asks some really bizarre question. So here I am, Daniel. What am I going to ask? I'm going to ask some weird question. Just kidding. Actually, I'm not going to. But use that, Ryan. Use this question and answer section. And being you have never done a post update, there is no post update section showing. So back on your admin side, Ryan, you're going to see a section that is, you're going to see a section. I can't remember what it says on the admin side. I think it's called post update, and you can just click on there and start posting on that. Excellent. Rusty, I see 90% of our business comes from Google. Sweet. I wonder if you're running, how do you know that that much is coming in? I wonder how you're tracking that, but that's amazing. You must not be a DRP shop then. And iPhone says a lot of good info, time to research a little a bit. You betcha, Mr. or Mrs. iPhone. I don't know who you are, but you bet. Thank you. I'm glad that you got some information from this. Any other questions? I see we're just about rolling up here to the top of the hour. I'm going to have to jump off here in a bit, but I have a couple minutes if somebody has more time. Anybody want me to do another teardown on your shop's Google business profile? You know what? I think Mitch, we're planning to talk later, maybe tomorrow, and can't remember who else had scheduled an appointment with me. I was thinking maybe it was Ryan. Okay, Mr. or Mrs. iPhone. I will look forward to that call. I'm sure I've got your information here. Okay, I see Rusty. You're up for a challenge. Eagle Auto Body. That name sounds so familiar. So the auto body shop that my dad started back in the 80s was called Eagle Creek Auto Body. And then my brothers became partners and they moved it and to a bigger facility and called it Eagle Automotive Center. Okay, Eagle Auto Body, Lexington, North Carolina. I was just over in North Carolina there at the Carolinas Collision quarterly meeting back in, I think that was July. Well, I'm curious where you are, Rusty. I want to see if I drove right by you because I did a bunch of driving when I was up there. Okay, so I flew into Charlotte. I was up to Mooresville too. That's where the meeting was, up in Mooresville. So yeah, we weren't too far apart there. Shoot, not too bad. I could have popped by and met you if I had known. All right, let's back up here. Let's back up here. This is where I want to be. All right. Well, if you've been open 18 months, good for you for collecting 26 Google reviews. I would say really get aggressive on that, Rusty. By far, that's going to be great time spent is really going after collecting as many reviews as you can. Some people, like Podium, when they're trying to sell you their services, they're going to tell you it's probably nearly 100% of the factors that Google ranks as by reviews. That's not true, but it is a great way. That being said, I'm curious to see, maybe I should go read your 1-star one here. What I have had no problems with self-service and I work in town. Boy, that really has me curious now. So guys, if you're getting, whenever you're collecting reviews, I should have mentioned this earlier, you really need to go and respond, preferably within the first 24 hours of the review. Um, oh, sweet, you're doing that. Let me give you one other tip that I didn't mention, and this is one that's debated in the marketing world, whether this works or not. But let me say this much, just give it food for thought. When you reply, why not use keyword phrases that you're trying to rank for? Um, Thanks for choosing us as your collision repair shop. We appreciate your support and the opportunity to serve you. I don't know. I'm just going off the top of my head. But anyways, something to think about, guys, when you are responding. But good for you, Rusty. You're responding. That's great. I see shops that don't even respond, which is not, I don't think is very professional. And people are looking at that. Okay, so here you go. Here's your question and answer section. Go ahead, use it. I see it doesn't look like you've had any random strangers that have done anything there. You have, we're a small customer-oriented repair facility. Okay, let me pair this one right apart right here. Just add collision repair facility. Boom. Because repair facility it doesn't mean much to Google. That focuses on repairing vehicles properly and safely after a collision or something like that. We stay up to date on the latest repair methods and procedures so that we can ensure that your vehicle is returned to pre-accident condition. I like that. You are obviously an independent shop. I have a feeling you're not a DRP shop. We can handle any size job from dings and scratches to full collision. Hey, awesome. Right there, we got collision repair. We are a PPG certified repair facility and are ICAR trained. Excellent. Man, that is really good, I must say. But there's just a few things that I would dial in there around your keyword. I just see some really good things here that you could use. Let's get rid of all these little add-ons that I have on my browser. My goodness. In the Q&A section, you could ask things about like, what is an ICAR gold facility? Perfect. Great comment, Ryan. Yeah, they talk about your ICAR gold. Talk about your PPG, but make sure when you're asking these questions and answers, be really strategic around the collision repair. I just keep saying that, an auto body repair. If you guys want, I could do a little bit of research on what people are searching in your area. Now, I'm going back here too. So you're Lexington, Salisbury, High Point. Rusty, I hope that gave you some feedback. I feel like you've got a lot of good stuff going on here. You've got links to CarWise, to Facebook. You've got a link here to your website. So that bounces me over here. Perfect. You've got your phone number there. Yeah, I really don't. I would say collect more reviews, use your Q&A, use your post update section. I hadn't mentioned that. I don't see it here. Great. Yeah, great things there. Just keep going on it. You've got some really good stuff going on. Sweet. All right. Well, guys, I appreciate you jumping on this call. It's been fun. You've been very interactive. I think with a smaller group, I get more interaction. That's cool. Appreciate that. And feel free to reach out. Like I said, I don't charge anything for my opinions. If you want to take me up on that strategy session, more than happy to jump on there with you and strategize and see what we can do to help you, whether that's just you doing it yourself or you bringing us on board to make that happen for you. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to wrap this up. I see we're at 2 o'clock. You can hit me up outside of this meeting if anything comes to mind between now and then. I appreciate you coming on. And yeah, it's been a pleasure being here in the last hour. Take care, guys.